undercover sting.
He was addicted to the same drug that he was trafficking in.
An admission of guilt by a Windsor man for selling drugs and a request for no jail time. Canadians will spend about $1,600 more on gas this year. How drivers are coping with the sticker shock.
It's ridiculous, to be honest.
I'm gonna have to put my car away for a bit.
And lights, camera, action.
Just 8 minutes from the Gordie Howe Bridge, where you can bike across for free.
Sandwichtown BIA launching a fresh tourism campaign.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on CTV Windsor and AM 800. A Windsor man tonight is hoping to stay out of prison, even though he has admitted he sold cocaine to undercover police officers. The defense wants the judge to take Daniel Harrison's personal situation into account. Joining me with more on the story tonight, Michelle Molesky.
Stefanie, Harrison was supported today by members of his family in Superior Court, as well as his mental health counselor from CMHA. Harrison's lawyer noted their attendance in arguing for a house arrest for a man who is trying to fix himself before the court imposes a sentence.
He was addicted to the same drug that he was trafficking in.
Defense lawyer Ken Marley wants Justice Maria Caracia to take into account how a so-called addict trafficker is unique.
It's arguable, and many judges accept, that somebody who is trafficking to support an addiction is less morally responsible for the trafficking than somebody who's doing it purely to make money.
Marley says his client, Daniel Harrison, now 44 years old, was struggling with the end of a 16-year relationship when he resorted to using drugs to cope. To fuel his addiction, Marley said Harrison started selling cocaine. Unbeknownst to him, however, in April 2024, Harrison sold drugs on several occasions to undercover officers with the Diggs unit. Officers would find 99 grams or 3.5 ounces of cocaine in Harrison's home and vehicle. Harrison previously pleaded guilty to drug trafficking and possession for the purpose of trafficking. At his sentencing hearing Friday, Marley told the judge Harrison is in counseling for addiction and mental health without being told by the court to do so.
And he wanted to get working on getting out of that lifestyle and making sure that by the time he got here in front of a judge, he was well on his way.
Marley says Harrison's best chance to recover is to serve his punishment on house arrest for less than 2 years. However, the federal drug prosecutor says that sentence wouldn't adequately denounce others from doing the same thing and asks that Harrison be sent to prison for 2 to 3 years. The judge will sentence Harrison on June 9th. He was facing a total of 6 charges, including 3 for selling drugs to undercover officers on multiple occasions. However, the remaining charges will be dealt with when he is sentenced, as I said there, in June. Stefanie.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle, for this. In other news, provincial police say they've laid an impaired driving charge against someone riding an e-bike. As Brian Bicknell reports, the potential penalties are the same as someone driving a vehicle.
For some, it's a convenient alternative to driving a car, but those who choose an e-bike to get to and fro are subject to the same laws around impaired driving as any driver on the roads, according to provincial police.
Drivers are reminded that no amount of alcohol or drugs in your system is safe to operate your conveyance with. Impaired is impaired.
Lambton OPP says on April 10th, officers were on patrols in Plimpton, Wyoming, when they conducted a traffic stop in a parking lot on Oil Heritage Road. A 52-year-old Sarnia man was charged with impaired operation of an e-bike.
If it is propelled by any force other than muscular force, you can be charged with an impaired driving offense. And that offense doesn't necessarily have to occur on a highway. It can occur on private parking lots as well.
The alleged impaired e-bike operator had his license suspended for 90 days and his vehicle impounded for 7 days.
Doesn't necessarily shock me.
Bike mechanic Aaron Greenhouse says sometimes it's drivers who have already lost their license riding e-bikes.
You know, bicycles or e-bikes or e-scooters for that matter can be a bit of a a way for people that have had past charges with drinking or something like that to kind of still get around.
Now, in spite of the fact that an e-bike rider can be charged under the Highway Traffic Act, according to police, unlike a car or a truck, you don't need registration, you don't need a license plate, and you don't need insurance. Cycling advocate Andrew McClanagan says when laws are violated, he supports enforcement, but he has reservations.
Who's really bearing the risk? So as a cyclist, if I break a rule, I'm really putting myself at risk. As a driver, I decide to rip through Wortley Village. Maybe I'm intoxicated, I'm distracted. I'm essentially putting everyone else outside my vehicle at risk. So it's an interesting choice.
In the meantime, the alleged impaired e-bike operator was released from custody and has a court appearance set for next month. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Windsor police charged a 47-year-old man with drug-related offenses after allegedly caught asleep at the wheel in Walkerville yesterday morning. Police say the man was found on Lincoln Road around 7 a.m., passed out behind the wheel with suspected fentanyl in his lap. The man is charged with impaired driving, drug possession, and driving without a license. American officials report a Canada-bound traveler at the tunnel caught with an illegal gun and weed. U.S. Customs and Border officials report officers seized the gun and cannabis from a traveler on April 18th. Officials are reminding the public cannabis remains illegal under U.S. federal law, and import-export documents are required for firearms. Gas prices are only getting worse. After an 11-cent increase in the past 2 days, gas is expected to go up another cent overnight. If they remain elevated, the average Canadian could end up spending an additional $1,600 filling up over the next 12 months. CTV's Adrian Gabriel looks at the impact.
With gas prices soaring, Canadians are feeling less than fulfilled at the pumps.
It's ridiculous, to be honest.
When you look at the price on the pump, what goes through your mind?
Am I going to have to put my car away for a bit?
What we're paying is a direct result as to what's going on in the Middle East.
The war in Iran and the subsequent closure of the Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of the world's oil normally travels through, has sent prices peaking.
I paid $170.
CTV News crunched the numbers. An average size vehicle has about a 50-liter gas tank. Most Canadians fill up once per week. The cheapest national average for gas so far this year is about $1.22 per liter. Over a 12-month period, that would run you about $3,172 in gas per year. On the high end, the national average now sits at about $1.84 per liter. If the high price sticks around, it would cost an average of about $4,784 a year at the pumps. That's a difference of $1,612.
I think it's going to get much higher. I see $2 a liter is not only a possibility, it's a probability at this stage.
The potential increase has some drivers already cutting back on other expenses.
You'd have to cut back on activities with your family.
Yes, I'm going to have to, due to the fact that the gas prices are affecting us a lot.
My meat consumption has gone down significantly, and for me, there needs to be an offset.
Those watching the market say there's a belief that elevated prices could be the new normal for several more months.
I can see this going to the end of the year. Merry Christmas.
Analysts tell us that even if the Strait of Hormuz was reopened today, it would take at least 2 months to see any meaningful decrease in the prices here at the gas station.
Adrian Gabriel, CTV News.
A frustrating time for many. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now for a first look at the weather from the top of the Bell Building tonight. Gary, frost advisory in effect.
That's why I'm bundled up, so to speak. I'm wearing the extra layers, the fall winter coat with gloves. It is cold, relatively speaking, cooler than seasonal, no doubt. You can feel it. Scattered showers have brought rain this morning through the midday, now into the late afternoon, evening period, and we are still in the midst of some very light showers, at least through the heart of Midtown and downtown Windsor. I think further west of us and southwest, we're going to see some more rains tonight for sure. Cold tomorrow morning. Frost is an issue and still cool for Saturday. I'll break down what you need to know as we look ahead the weekend and beyond coming up. For now, I'll send it back inside to you at the desk.
Tonight, questions remain over cross-border trade and the stalled Gordie Howe International Bridge as a key CUSMA review looms. Bob Belichico caught up with a Windsor billionaire who weighs in on what it could mean for the region.
If I was the president of the United States, that's how I'd do it. I see no reason to include Canada with Mexico.
Windsor steel magnate Barry Zuckelman feels a renewed free trade agreement between Canada, the U.S., and Mexico should be broken into separate negotiations.
Canada needs other solutions, right, that don't have anything to do with Mexico. So, I wouldn't want Canada to negotiate with Mexico in mind. They need to negotiate with Canada in mind.
Zuckelman says the Gordie Howe International Bridge is a remarkable structure and one that will benefit both countries. But he says all three local border crossings play a key role in keeping trade moving. Zuckelman adds he wishes the Ambassador Bridge had been allowed to modernize.
I think that was a hugely unfortunate situation. I mean, we need that too. And we probably need more modernization of the tunnel. So if we're going to have the trade that we have, we're going to need all avenues to move that product.
Pete Hoekstra, the U.S. ambassador to Canada, who is from Michigan, spent some time here in Windsor last week with Mayor Drew Dilkens and a few business leaders. They talked about a wide variety of topics, including trade relations between our two countries and the Gordie Howe International Bridge.
It was a good conversation, and I'm confident he understands and appreciates, and he did communicate to me that the United States understands the importance of USMCA, not just to our economy, but to theirs as well.
Dilkens says the ambassador answers to President Donald Trump and understands a good conversation with the ambassador doesn't sway the pendulum heavily.
At the end of the day, it'll depend what happens at the negotiating table and where President Trump lands with the deal on his side.
As for the Gordie Howe International Bridge, there continues to be no set date. Dilkens says he and the ambassador agree it needs to open.
The bridge is effectively complete, and I think, the ambassador understands that this is the best thing to do as well. It's just a matter of how to do it and how to get President Trump over the hump.
No timeline, though.
No timeline.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
Now, the exact date of when the Gordie Howe International Bridge will open remains unknown, but that hasn't stopped the Sandwichtown BIA from launching a tourism campaign aimed at attracting people to the area. The campaign launching today across all media platforms.
The shoot was a full-day shoot from, 7 in the morning until sunset.
Lights, camera, action.
So we had the whole street locked off. We had a camera car set up with a camera head following the cyclists, and we had about 35 extras that came together, and we filmed in 4 or 5 different locations all across Sandwichtown, and we had it done in a day.
Bike to Sandwichtown? Let's go.
Drew Hittenraw is the producer and director of this tourism spot, launched Friday on all media platforms.
It feels incredible to have our work showcased on national TV across the States and Canada, and I think this is a really good way to showcase the first thing that you see when you cross the bridge coming into Sandwichtown, and I think we definitely did that in a cool and creative way.
Just 8 minutes from the Gordie Howe Bridge, where you can bike across for free.
The campaign, funded by the Gordie Howe Bridge Community Benefits Program.
I can't wait for us to become that gateway to Canada.
Sandwichtown BIA Director Stephen Hargraves is looking forward to the opening of the multi-billion-dollar span connecting the two countries. He says the advertising primarily targets people visiting and crossing the Gordie Howe Bridge via bicycle or on foot.
We're basically the first piece of civilization you reach. And once you've cycled across, your legs are probably a little bit tired. You probably want to sit down, have something to eat, something to drink.
Hargraves predicts crossing the bridge will be on the bucket list for many cycling enthusiasts across the world.
Sandwichtown, as it says in the advertisement, is the new old town that everyone's falling in love with.
Right. But now that you know, come experience it for yourself.
If you've ever thought about getting more involved in local politics, the door is now open. Nominations for October's municipal election open today, and several familiar names are already in. A number of incumbents and current council members across Windsor-Essex wasted no time filing. In Essex, Mayor Sherry Bondi and Deputy Mayor Rob Shepley are both seeking re-election. In LaSalle, Mayor Crystal Meloche is also back in the race, while Councillor Mike Segan has filed for council. And in Amherstburg and Tecumseh, some current deputy mayors are looking to move up, with Chris Gibb and Joe Bacchetti both entering mayoral races. The deadline to file is August 21st, and CTV News Windsor will keep a running list of all candidates who have registered online through Election Day in October. A monument and commemorative garden paying tribute to a longtime labor leader and social activist was unveiled earlier today. The cover was lifted off the Gary Parent Legacy Gardens at Riam Park today. Parent was a labor giant with more than 5 decades of labor service, including 25 years as the president of the Windsor and District Labor Council and 22 years as financial secretary for CAW Local 444. The gardens include benches overlooking the Peace Fountain.
Very, very, very emotional day. Even, when we had Dad's funeral, when we've had a couple other honors at Unemployed Help Center and over at Stellantis. I mean, it was nice. Today, very, very emotional. And I think the biggest reason why it was emotional was knowing what was going here, but actually spreading Dad's ashes with the actual site.
On the other end of the riverfront, the Legacy Beacon and streetcar number 351 are now open for the season. Visitors are welcome May 1st through Labor Day. The site is closed on Mondays, however. Windsor's riverfront was once a thriving railway connection for industry. And plant lovers and bargain hunters, take note, the city is holding its annual plant sale this Saturday. The 29th annual Paul Martin Garden Perennial Plant Sale is being held once again at the Jackson Park Greenhouse Complex. Volunteers will be on site to help you choose from more than 100 varieties of perennials, grasses, veggies, shrubs, herbs, and trees to spruce up your space. Every purchase made helps support the historic Paul Martin Gardens in Willisted Park. It runs from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So this takes us to our question of the day. Have you been working in your garden yet this year? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked if you have filed your taxes yet. Out of around 700 responses, 94% say yes. Now, we do want to hear from you. Text us at 10400. You can also send photos and video if you have a story idea. New video shows the moment an armed man tries to storm the White House dinner in an attempt to kill Donald Trump. That's still ahead on Windsor's News Leader. Airline complaints taking off, but not landing anywhere until now. When we return, the plan to unpack a massive backlog. Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. New video has emerged showing the moment an armed gunman stormed through a security checkpoint at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. The video, released by U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, shows a suspect with a shotgun rushing out of a doorway and through a security checkpoint. Prosecutors say the video shows a suspect, Cole Thomas Allen, and a Secret Service agent exchange fire. Allen has also been charged with attempting to assassinate President Donald Trump. He is due back in court on May 11th. The United States Senate has rejected a measure aimed at restricting President Donald Trump's war powers by requiring congressional approval.
The yeas are 47, the nays are 50, and the motion is not agreed to.
The vote came just hours before the war hit the 60-day mark. A post-Vietnam law says Congress must sign off on all war actions. However, some lawmakers insist the president can unilaterally extend U.S. military involvement by another 30 days, and others have argued that ceasefire days do not count towards that total. Amid record high oil prices, a new pipeline is being revived out of canceled Keystone XL parts. U.S. President Donald Trump signed an order authorizing a proposed project to transport Canadian oil across the border. CTV's Judy Trin looks at the economic spillover effects.
This is a presidential permit authorizing the Bridger pipeline.
U.S. President Donald Trump approves a permit for the Bridger pipeline, a new take on a project scrapped by Joe Biden.
Slightly different than the last administration.
After years of pressure from environmental groups and Indigenous communities, the first Keystone pipeline was canceled in 2021. Now, under Trump, construction of the new pipeline would take a different route, running along the Montana-Saskatchewan border before a south turn towards Wyoming. The Bridger pipeline would connect the northern link owned by Alberta's South Bow Corporation to deliver much more crude oil to the Americans.
A huge new export capacity, probably about 550,000 barrels is the nameplate capacity, and certainly echoes the Keystone XL that had so many issues.
It's potentially going to be on stream by 2029 to early 2030, so pretty quick turnaround as opposed to a brand new pipeline taking at least 8 years.
On social media, Alberta's premier said it took years of advocacy. Danielle Smith said after signing the Canada-Alberta Energy Agreement and the lifting of the federal oil and gas cap, hard work is paying off. Speaking in Calgary, the Minister of Natural Resources spoke of a bright energy future.
This government and Canadians now understand that energy is the engine of Canada's economy.
But there was a pipeline rupture in 2022 in Kansas. More reason, environmental groups say, to oppose this new project.
The developers are hoping that this project will pick up where Keystone left off, but they may regret that because this project is going to meet with the same opposition that Keystone did.
As for the Canadian partner in this, Calgary-based South Bow, it says it's still waiting for more consultation from commercial partners as well as more regulatory approvals. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
And Ottawa says it has a plan to tackle the massive backlog of air travel complaints, now numbering more than 100,000. The process in some cases can take up to 3 years. CTV's Abigail Beeman sifted through the fine print and brings us the details.
Delayed till 12:45, then delayed till 1:10 a.m.
Frequent flyer Robert Walker says he's collected so many delay and cancellation messages from airlines he can write a book.
You get nowhere, it takes forever. I haven't got time to worry about it, and I just don't believe that anything will ever be done.
He's not optimistic about the federal government's commitment to better handle air travel complaints, included in the spring economic update.
We put in place a system that, in hindsight, was onerous, expensive, took too long.
The Fed's now proposing to quadruple the fines airlines could face to a maximum of $1 million. Clear the complaint backlog by using a third party based on the successful model in the UK and EU, and simplify the complaint process.
The exemptions, the lack of clarity, the confusion, the loopholes.
Since January, the Canadian Transportation Agency tells CTV News it's received more than 1,000 complaints every week. That backlog now stands at 97,000, and it can take more than 2 years for your complaint to be reviewed.
This is really, I would argue, the first time that we've seen the government acknowledge that the system itself needs to be reformed. And so we're encouraged by that.
The National Airlines Council of Canada told us that before new details about much bigger fines emerged Friday and wouldn't share updated reaction.
I don't believe the government.
While this air passenger rights advocate says Ottawa is offering smoke and mirrors.
The government is essentially trying to solve a PR problem. When they are going to privatize it, they will be able to shake their finger at whatever third party is running the adjudication process and say, you are not doing your job well.
Gabor Lukash says the reason the system works better in Europe isn't because of a third-party system, but rather easy-to-follow rules about whether compensation is owed, which he would like to see in Canada. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Students at St. Clair College had a chance to pitch ideas to industry leaders today. One group focused on the city's H4 hub.
We are hoping in September to start implementing these things such as dental care, veterinary care, etc. As we did just launch our project in January.
By getting our aesthetic students involved, we can help bring some dignity back to these people's lives.
The group is called ISO at H4 and is comprised of students from different faculties. The group focused on ways to provide essential services to Windsor's homeless population by providing accessible and personalized care. It's a project that comes at the right time as the city plans to expand H4.
Is just going to provide a much larger space for the students to come in and to do the work and to continue the work that they're doing, as well as potentially partnering with other organizations in order to continue to expand the services based on what people are telling us that they need.
Canada's main stock index finished in negative territory, weighed down by losses in the energy sector. In Toronto, the TSX lost 73 points. In New York, the Dow fell 153, the Nasdaq gained 222. The Canadian dollar closed the week with a quarter-cent gain. On commodity markets, gold is up almost $15 an ounce and oil is down $3.13 a barrel. Made in Canada high tech coming up, how this machine is transforming the lives of one Ontario family. Cloudy out there with on and off showers. Gary, if our viewers have any plants or trees outdoors still, they need to bring it in.
Well, yeah, if you can, and if it's, possible in the next couple of hours, save you the hassle of doing it late at night, because we know temperatures are taking a nosedive. Just like yesterday, we were in that yellow warning, the advisory for frost. And then we're going to see it again tonight, technically into tomorrow morning before dawn. So that's Saturday being quite chilly to start. Today was a cold day, no doubt. Temperatures well below seasonal by 8 degrees. Our average high this time of the year, May 1st, 17.1. We've only reached a high of 9.1. Air quality is decent. It's been cloudy. It's been showery. It rained this morning. It rained through the late morning into the early afternoon. Temperatures are now decreasing by about a half a degree every 45 minutes so far over the last 3 hours. It's 7 degrees in Chatham-Kent. That's 45 Fahrenheit, 46 Fahrenheit, or 8 degrees Celsius in Windsor at the airport. The warm air is in the west now. Notice how the atmosphere tries to balance itself out. The east is cooler, and we're looking at temperatures of 20 degrees both in Calgary and Regina, compared to about 8 to 10 degrees in southern Ontario. Scattered showers still linger, and what's moving across Michigan and upper Ohio has been moving across Lake Erie into southwestern Ontario. We are still cloudy, and yes, there's even a chance of seeing some flurries in and around Sarnia and the north shores of Lake St. Clair tonight into tomorrow morning. Hence the cold air that's in place. What little rain is left with this disturbance passes on through as I speak through to about 9-10 p.m. tonight. It's a bit windy, but not excessively so. Tomorrow is going to be more of the same in terms of it being cool. Take a look at our 7-day forecast, courtesy of Intercare Siles. Calling for showers in the morning, potentially. That frost risk, of course, looms. High of 10. The low is 0, and then a low of 1. Might even see some frost early Sunday morning. High of 15, showers possible. Monday's a better day, especially in the afternoon, up to 21. Then 16 on Tuesday, still showery potentially, and rainy Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 13, 11, and 10. We warm up just for a smidge on Monday, and we cool off thereafter.
A young Ontario boy who lost his ability to walk 3 years ago is getting back on his feet thanks to a Made in Canada robotic solutions. CTV's Alex Hollick looks at his amazing progress and his final hurdle.
Good job, Mateo. 7-year-old Mateo Vandermeer is putting his best foot forward, thanks to a helping hand from a robot.
With the Trexo, we saw him take his first steps again.
The exoskeleton was created by Trexo Robotics, a Mississauga-based company started by a pair of University of Waterloo graduates. The device helps children with mobility impairments build strength, one step at a time.
Every time that he walks is one step forward for him, hopefully being able to take some steps on his own.
Mateo was born with a severe heart condition. Growing up, he required frequent checkups, which at times could be invasive. At just 4 years old, Mateo suffered a medical complication, losing movement in his arms and legs.
It was a really tough moment for us as a family, but we persevered, and since then, Mateo has continued to defy expectations.
So let's go a little bit easier.
To keep Mateo moving forward, his family hopes to purchase his own custom Trexo, but the high tech comes with a hefty price tag. So they started a GoFundMe to raise $45,000.
We're only $7K away from our goal of $45K to have Mateo have his own Trexo home here and be able to practice every day.
Higher, higher. Mateo's parents say they're grateful for the support they've received so far and the community they've found over the last few years.
It truly does take a village. It would be impossible if we were just on our own. I wouldn't even want to think about what that would look like.
And they hope that by sharing Mateo's story, they'll be able to educate others while making big strides in Mateo's road to regaining mobility.
You will know that it's going towards a little boy that is joyful and beautiful and deserves the opportunity to walk again.
Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Guelph.
Acute myeloid leukemia has traditionally been difficult to treat. The new drugs are changing that. We get more from health reporter Pauline Chan.
Hamilton artist Nancy Spock was diagnosed with AML in 2022.
I was feeling exhausted, tired, didn't want to eat. I was losing weight. I blamed it on having a toothache, and then also I got a puppy. So I thought, okay, I'm just exhausted from all of this.
AML, or acute myeloid leukemia, is a disease of the blood which actually starts in the bone marrow and then kind of goes out into the blood. So AML is always, if you want, metastatic from the beginning. So AML can often present relatively late because it goes everywhere.
Dr. Brian Lieber says a combination of drugs used to be the typical treatment, but a decade ago, targeted therapies began to be developed for particular mutations causing the cancer. And in the past few months, 2 new drugs, quizartinib and ivosidenib, were approved by Health Canada.
I think that's why hematologists are, excited these days about having new treatment options for particular subtypes of leukemia.
The drugs, in pill form, have very good outcomes and are much easier to take than hospital infusions or injections. But that means testing and diagnosis is key.
Now that information is also used for specific treatment choices to say, this treatment might be better for you if you have this particular type of mutation.
Specific tests for certain mutations are needed.
It's clearly critical to be able to determine that relatively early in the state of the disease.
Nancy was able to get a stem cell transplant, an option only available to less than half of AML patients. She's doing great now, but still suffers from fatigue and brain fog.
Even now, I need to nap at least an hour a day.
But she's grateful for the research which is continuing to make life better for patients like herself. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
With temperatures swinging wildly, is your garden ready for the shock? Still ahead, how to protect and make the most of your tulips.
Sandy McDonald joins me again. We're at Jackson Park on a cool day, below seasonal temperatures today and for the next few, and we're talking about tulips. Let's talk a little bit about temperatures and how that's going to affect tulips, which are looking beautiful behind us here.
It is beautiful, and the good thing is we don't need to worry too much about tulips and temperature. If you put some other things out in the garden, maybe be a little concerned as well. You might need an old bed sheet or something over those if we're expecting some frost. But tulips will tolerate the frost. But they are coming near the end of their blooming season as well.
Talk to us a little bit about the preparation for a good tulip season.
We can certainly discuss that in the fall as far as soil preparation, that sort of thing, choosing the right kind of bulbs. But for this time of year, especially if you're leaving them in the ground, we can think about feeding them and also about deadheading them. Those two key points this time of year. You can sort of see this one here. Again, still has a few days of good color in it, so perfectly fine. But this other one here, it is starting to develop a seed head at the top. And if you have these in your garden, your plan is to leave them in the garden for several years, year after year, then deadheading is the key right now. It's easy. With your hand, you can just sort of take the seed head off. That simple. If those long stalks bother you in the garden, you could go a little lower, but the key here is leave the leaves. It's a little hard, so I probably should have been using my secateurs here to remove this. That's so okay. We can do so here. And again, if you needed to, use secateurs. You don't want to use your fingers, so you can just cut that off. And that'll look a little bit neater in the garden. But the key is leave those leaves on so they can ripen off properly, and giving them some food. We have some examples of food here too if we want to look at that. To be honest, tulips are not really choosy about the type of fertilizer. So you could use an organic type of fertilizer such as we have here. And again, this one is fairly quick acting, but again, we're not using any chemicals perhaps in the garden, so you might want a nice organic fertilizer. We can use a traditional sort of granular type of fertilizer that we have here as well. And there are also slow release types or pelletized types of fertilizer that'll last for a longer period of time. A higher middle number and a higher last number, so higher in phosphorus and potassium, would be great for tulips. So if yours aren't doing so well and you want to make sure they're good and strong, scratch in a little bit of this fertilizer now, and that'll feed the bulbs for the next year. So a little bit of thinking ahead for that.
All right, that sounds great. Sandy McDonald, as always, we appreciate your expertise. Join us next week for another installment of Get Gardening.
The mysterious street artist known as Banksy is at it again. This statue appeared in the historic Waterloo Place Plaza in London. It depicts a suited man with his chest puffed out, about to walk off the platform with his face blinded by the flag he's carrying. Banksy's signature is also on the statue. Banksy posted this video, which appears to show the statue being placed in the plaza.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. Join us for the Walk to Make Cystic Fibrosis History on Sunday, May the 31st, as we gather in communities from coast to coast to step toward breakthroughs in cystic fibrosis research and care. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. Now, Melanie, earlier we spoke to steel tycoon Barry Zeckelman about his thoughts on CUSMA.
That's right, but he had more wisdom to impart today. He was at St. Clair College this morning, inspiring the next generation.
They will beg for those skill sets, and it's all over, and it's expanding.
Zeckelman is referring to the impact of the artificial intelligence boom. He told the young crowd to get their education and become what they want to be, but to be open about where that may take them. Zeckelman was impressed by some of the questions during the Q&A period. Many of them focused on how to pursue dreams and goals and the definition of success.
You know, success is what you make of it, right? Don't let anybody else define what success is except you, your success, and your sense of happiness and self-worth and accomplishment. So, you know, that's the best advice I could give to those young people today.
We've got more from Zeckelman online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Now, we also have an online story, Melanie, about motorcycle safety.
Yeah, so this year's Motorcycle Safety Week runs from May 1st to May 7th. The annual initiative raises awareness about the importance of safe riding and responsible driving habits. Essex County OPP say it's a shared responsibility for both motorists and other vehicle drivers. You can find the full list of tips on our website. And in our social spotlight, gotta love a good hockey prank on your teammate.
we were lucky today, so yeah, I'm for the win.
Another night of racism.
They're watching it.
So yeah, just some Montreal Canadiens dressing room shenanigans, heckling their goalie as he does a post-game interview, and then having a good laugh about it afterwards.
Yeah, there's nothing harsh about that. I think we've heard more strict, intense, things that have happened in the past. Yeah, it's a cute little happy one. Okay, how can our viewers submit a video for this trending segment?
Yeah, well, they can email it to us at newsnow@bellmedia.ca or text it to 10400.
Okay, and that's what's happening now. Thank you, Melanie. Lineups grow, dreams soar. When we return, why Sarnia's Chase the Ace jackpot has the whole city buzzing. Kind of gloomy out there, but the weekend is here. Can we go to the playground? Yes, bundle up though.
You're wincing. Yes, you can go. It's going to be showery at times, so if you don't mind a little bit of rain, not a complete washout, but there is rain, and the temperatures are cool tonight into a frosty tomorrow morning potentially. Frost advisory, I should say, is in place. 10 degrees on Saturday, 15, which would be still 2 degrees below seasonal on Sunday. And then Monday, we're up to 21. It doesn't last. We're down to 16 on Tuesday, 13, 11, and 12 Wednesday through Friday. All of those icons depicting cloudiness and the potential of showers. The best day is Monday because the afternoon looks pretty good with sunshine, but the weekend is cool and a bit wet.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Finally, tonight, long lines are wrapping around the block in Sarnia as a local lottery jackpot hits $1.6 million. With more on the Catch the Ace craze and the cause it's supporting, here's Sean Irvin.
The best way to measure the excitement surrounding a $1.6 million jackpot in Sarnia is to take a walk. On multiple downtown blocks, people are lined up, each one firmly believing they are about to be very rich, thanks to the Chase the Ace lottery draw being run by Branch 62 of the Royal Canadian Legion.
I've been manifesting this for 64 years. You know, I feel it.
And with some waiting hours to get in line to get their hands on a ticket, they have some time to dream about how they'd spend the money.
Go on trips.
Go on trips. Say where to?
Probably Greece.
But some, like Claudette McKay, only laughed when we asked where she would disappear to. You'll really be laughing if you win all that.
That's right.
Lots of those in line have plans to retire, including one man wearing an ace on his shirt.
Well, I'd help out a pile of causes too, but I'd start enjoying life more.
To win the lottery, you must first pick a number from a board and enter your name in a draw. The winner automatically gets the weekly prize, which last week topped out at $114,232. The lucky ticket holder also picks from that board to try to catch the ace.
And that person goes over to our board, selects a numbered envelope, we rip it open. If it contains the ace of spades from a deck of cards, then they win the whole progressive pot.
Well, the winner gets a huge prize. The Legion, once struggling to survive, gets money to fix its building, help veterans, and support local charities. Now, last year at about this time, the ace was selected and the winner took home about $700,000. Needless to say, the addition of almost $1 million more has driven these lines around City Hall and multiple downtown buildings. So by now, you're likely wondering who was first in line. Well, after arriving at 1:30 a.m., this man was able to take a seat inside. His name, believe it or not, is Ace. And you're feeling lucky.
Well, today I am because of 1.6.
That's a lot of dough for a man who oddly resembles someone who gives a lot at a certain time of year.
Definitely I'll be giving lots of money to lots of people.
Will you do it in a jolly red suit, sir? Yes, believe it or not, Ace is one of Santa's top helpers, although we wonder if perhaps he's more than he lets on. When we asked him if he was headed north if he won all the money, he quickly conceded.
North Pole, 10-4.
In Sarnia, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
There's so many beautiful angles to this story.
Yeah, it was a great story.
I love it's how the community's just coming together for something really fun, and obviously to make those renovations are really important. So it's a great way to get the community involved and help fix up that building as well.
Yes, well, Santa may need some help with the toy shop up north. I guess that's one of the reasons why he's down here. But
and
yeah,
his name is Ace.
Great name.
I'm going for him. That would be an ultimate amazing follow-up story to do. On behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Sanjay and Gary will be back with your only late local newscast tonight at 11.
We'll see you then.